Hi, everybody. So I'm finally ready to talk about my cancer journey. I've been on for the past 20 years. Um, so grab a cup of coffee and sit down and we'll chat about it. So in 2002, I had my third baby, Austin, and after I gave birth, they thought I had a clot in my lung. So they did some scans on it. I did not have a clot in my lung, which was good. But when they did the scans, they found a nodule in my right lung. And they kind of said, it's just real tiny. You know, if you scan people, the average person probably has these nodules and not to worry about it. But in 1 year's time, they would scan again and see if it's grown or anything like that. After 1 year, we had it scanned again, and it had grown just a teeny tiny bit. I mean, we're talking millimeters here. And they said, same thing, let's watch it. If it is, it's probably not cancer. If it is cancer, it's a very slow growing cancer. And again, we should just keep watching. Well, we did that until I turned 50 years old, which was 2017. And I decided when I turned 50 that I was kind of tired of having this scan every year. And I would just go in, get it biopsied, and be done with it, right? Because obviously it was going to come out negative. So I went in and had the biopsy done. They go through the outside between your ribs and into the lung. It's very painful, but they did the biopsy and it came back as positive for cancer cells. So then they did another test where they went down my throat and looked into my esophagus and biopsied some nodules they had seen there. And that test was even worse. Hopefully you never have to have these kind of tests done. So they went down, biopsied those, and those all came back as positive also. So I live in Rochester, Minnesota with the famous Mayo Clinic, and my husband works for Mayo, so we have good medical insurance. And we qualified for the proton beam therapy, and then chemotherapy was our initial plan. So I went through 35 days every day of proton beam therapy to shrink the tumors. And then I went through, I think, 6 weeks of chemotherapy once a week to kill the cancer. So, and then when that was all done, the plan was to remove half of my lung, which we then did. In order to do that, I don't want to scare you. This is all past. It's a memory. I survived it. But in order to remove half your lung, they have to literally saw through your ribs, remove the lung, and then you get a chest tube, which if you've ever had a chest tube, you know there's not much things more painful than a chest tube. It's terrible. So anyway, that was done, I think that was spring of 2018. And then we waited maybe around 6 weeks and had scans done. My scans came back completely clear. So we said, thank goodness, and we moved on. And they started scanning me every 3 months. And then they switched me in January of 2021 to get tests done every 6 months. And I think I made it to about May, and I just was not feeling good. I was having some breathing issues, which I've always kind of had because I have half a lung on the right side, but it was just getting worse, and I just was not. I could just tell I was not feeling good. There was a small nodule they've been watching. Actually, I have several nodules in my lungs that they've been watching. Like I said before, people do have nodules and they're perfectly fine. They're benign and you never really need to worry about them. It's probably, I don't know, kind of like a wart on your hand or something. So they've been watching a couple of those, and I went in and got scanned, and it showed a cloudy area on the outside of my lung, between my lung and my rib cage. And I went in, they did a biopsy of one of the nodules, and it showed I had cancer in that nodule. So they kind of are assuming that the other nodules that are around it also have cancer. And the cloudiness, we're assuming, is something to do with the cancer too. I don't know. I'm still confused about what the cloudiness is. But with that, the fluid that's between, or the cloudiness that's between my lung and my ribs, is how I got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And I guess I've never smoked ever. Just side note. Because people associate lung cancer with people who have smoked, and I never have smoked. So that's that. So then the next plan we came up with are these immunotherapy drugs I'm taking. And we're hoping at this point they are going to shrink the tumors and hopefully clear up the cloudy area. And it won't cure the cancer, but it will treat it like a person with diabetes that takes insulin. The crazy part about the pills that I take, they cost $20,000 a bottle, and I take one bottle a month. Luckily, we have insurance, so we do not. We pay our out-of-pocket the first thing in January, and then the rest comes from insurance. I am a little worried about, there is a max lifetime out-of-pocket, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. If I ever need, It's scary what people would have to do if they didn't have insurance. I think about that a lot. If you didn't have good insurance, what kind of treatment you could have, or how people cope when they don't have insurance and they have to pay for this kind of meds and treatments. And anyway, not going to go down that road. So that is where I'm at right now. The middle of February, I'll have my first scans to see if the immunotherapy drugs are working, which I'm sure they are. I got to be positive about that. And that is pretty much my whole cancer story. And I guess also with that, part of why I started a YouTube channel was I was sick and not feeling well and resting a lot. And I just watched YouTube. I like to watch cooking shows and people organizing and all the stuff that I really didn't feel good enough to do. I could watch other people do it. And I decided that I would like to start a YouTube channel and maybe help somebody else that was in the same type of situation that maybe wanted to watch somebody else just doing kind of mundane, everyday things that they can't do or they don't do for whatever reason. Well, I know my story will continue and I'll update everybody on how my tests come out so you know. It'd be great if y'all could subscribe to my channel. It's free. I don't know if you know that. You just hit the button and then I get paid. And it's as easy as that. So, thanks for tuning in to hear my cancer journey. And I'll see you next time on Saving a Dime at a Time. Bye-bye.